Okay, everybody. I thought, welcome to my virus vlog part 2. That lets you know it's started. And I thought it might be fun to start this week's installment. First of all, I'm thankful we're all still here, those of us who are, and every week it gets worse and more terrifying, and yet at the same time, with every passing week, we're closer to whatever is going to happen, whether we get herd immunity in the course of 2 years, or whether, there's some kind of vaccine, or whatever happens, So I saw one that said, we'll open for business after whatever happens has happened, So it's all we can do. They say they have those bumper stickers, let go and let God, that sort of thing, you know what I mean? So what you got to do is just take your hands off the wheel, close your eyes, and drive off a cliff, and hope that you don't ever hit the bottom. You just keep floating in the air as your car falls, So we're going to do a quick drum lesson to start this out before we go out and give the time cube, the pigeon, his bath for the day. Maybe he'll take a bath. Now, they say you shouldn't get too philosophical in drum lessons, but I find there to be no other way, because what is playing the drums is a demarcation of the passage of time, and what time is you're instantly in the realm of philosophy, and so there's no other way to really think about it. You're marking the passage of time, which causes panic and makes people move and dance and makes them want to have a joyful dancing experience and motion through time, because it hammers home the fact that as long as we're alive, we're only moving one way in time. We can't go, the fourth dimension has a strict wall. We can't go back into the past. We can't know what's going to happen in the future. We only have the present moment, which is the intersection of the 2 points. So there's tension involved in the two opposites coming together, and in the middle you've got this roiling tension, which is material existence or whatever, and so that's what drumming is really about. It's demarcating the passage through time, and you can chop it up into all different ways with sound that makes the human mind think, oh, we're marking the passage of time. Like we have holidays and we have seasons and we have our motion around the sun, and then we can do beats, which are faster, but same principle. They tend to chop things up with math. They tend to say it's 4/4 time, it's 16th notes, 8th notes. For some reason, it's usually a multiple of 4, although sometimes I've heard people say, oh, that beats in 3, which means it's like... Or maybe... Actually, I have no idea if that's in 3, but something like that. But basically, that's all nonsense. I mean, it's not nonsense, but it's just one way of thinking of it. I say if you want to learn how to play the drums, the best thing to do is to get stuff with basic beats on it, recordings, and just play along with the recording. You can count in your head, but if you count in your head, who's to say? It's total quagmire, because you could go anywhere. It's like playing a song accompanied only by yourself. What are the words going to be? How's it going to... there's no... Because I could play a beat, right? It goes... Now, that's not a wrong beat, but I sped up. But who's to say it's wrong to speed up if I'm only accompanying myself? The song sped up, the rhythm sped up. So, if you want to learn how to play and you want to learn how to sync in to keep a beat that your musicians can dance to or whatever that is solid, then I recommend playing along with recordings of either drummers or drum machines or whatever, click tracks or whatever it is that has a pretty solid, that thing, sort of thing, you know what I mean? But the main thing is just, if you haven't played the drums, and I don't remember what it was like, because I was, I don't know, 17 or 18, and first my brother got a snare drum, and I've just played along to recordings I don't even remember what it was like to really learn, but I think that the main thing that's difficult is getting your foot and your arms and stuff to do different things at the same time, you know what I mean? Because you want to sort of have them all do the same thing, but so I recommend just starting with one and moving to the other one. So you say, like, use your right hand and say... That's pretty boring, but you do it for a while and change it up different ways if you want. And then eventually it's all just extrapolations off of that, you know what I mean? So that you can do And when you do flourishes or fills or whatever you call them, I just say that it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you come back to some kind of anchor point. If that's your goal, you don't have to come back to any kind of anchor point if you're playing abstract music. I mean, music can be as abstract as it wants to be. I mean, but usually in most dance-oriented music, which most music with drums is to some extent, you want to come back to some kind of point. So you'd say like. So there's little flourishes in that, but it always comes back to that. Even if you have more going on, like if you have a beat that's like. That one has a lot more filling in with the they call them 8 notes, I think, but it's the same idea. So playing the drums is fun. You can play on anything. You can play on a notebook. You can play on your knee. You can play on a pots man. I didn't have a drum set for years. Learning how to play the drums. When I finally got a drum set, then almost the only thing I had to learn to do was get my foot going separate. I already knew how to do the hand stuff just from playing on, actually played on a couch. We had couch cushions. I did get some sticks. My brother was in school band, playing on couch cushions. So yeah, so drum lesson. We'll take the cube out, see if it gets in the chat down.
So, here's the beginning of our vlog this time around. These are tapes of Invasive Species, the band that I play the drums in. And Mandy sings and Reed plays the guitar and Melissa plays the bass. We've had a couple of bass players, but Melissa's our current bass player. That's Mandy's artwork on the cover there. So let's go upstairs and take Time Cube the pigeon out and give him a bath. Luckily, I got a new cymbal before the lockdown started. WKDU, that's our local college radio station that's not broadcasting live anymore to protect the DJs from the virus. So we took the cube out. I call him the cube for short. This is his buddy Amelia Earhart. Say hello, Amelia Earhart.
Hello. I'm the cube's little friend. I tried to get him over his fear of other pigeons because he has pigeon PTSD. Pigeon traumatic stress disorder. And I'm a stuffy pigeon. And he tries to protect his food from me. But I just sit there. And I think he figured out recently that I'm a stuffy.
So, let's take the cube out. He's up here. He likes to sit up on a skylight.
Hello. Hello. Say hello. Say hello.
He needs a beak trim. Gotta trim his beak every once in a while. I just cleaned out his environment over here. Ta-da! And then I got a new bathtub for him.
So Ferdy likes to come out. Come on, Ferdy. Come on. Come on. Go ahead.
Come on, Ferdy.
Come on.
He's not sure about this water.
Go ahead. You can make it. You can make it. Yeah, that's a water bowl. Now, Mandy's watering. Ferdy's out here. And we got the Cube's new bathtub. I had a plastic bathtub for him for a long time, but I just found this metal one, and I think it's going to work a whole lot better for him to take a bath. So there he goes up. Put his bathtub out. And hopefully, pretty soon he'll take a bath. While we're waiting to see if the Cube's gonna take a bath or not, he's out there eating now, so I just put him back out. I'll show you this beautiful stained glass window that we have. So this was made by an artist named Tawana in Newark, Delaware. And Tawana made a gigantic art installation piece the size of a whole house, a big arc, out of remnants after the riots in Newark. You know, pieces of smashed up buildings and glass and stuff. And it was really one of these art environments that was comparable to the famous Watts Towers in Chicago, if you look those up. But Tawana, Keatawana, was really pretty famous for a while, and you know that sort of thing comes and goes. So eventually her fame sort of lapsed, but it seemed like it may catch on again. Anyway, people thought she was dead for a long time because she had become a hermit recluse up in the mountains, and when she came back from her seclusion, she told me that she went to the local library to look up newspaper articles about herself because she had heard that there was newspaper articles about the Ark, which, by the way, the city destroyed and dismantled and everything. It was a big, terrible thing that happened. But anyways, she told me that she went to the library in Newark and wanted to look up articles about Tawana, and the librarian said, "Oh, why do you want to look up articles about Tawana?" She said, "Well, it's me, that's me, I'm Tawana." And she said, "Oh, the librarian got white as a sheet, like she had seen a ghost, because everybody assumed I was dead, you know." So that was a cool story from her. But she passed away, I believe, in 2012, and Mandy wrote some letters back and forth with her and stuff, and so really cool artist if you look her up. She's got a Wikipedia entry and all that, and you can find little things about her. But anyway, this stained glass window was in the Ark. It was one of the windows that was in the Ark. There was a bunch of them. There was a Kubrick's 2001 window, which I wanted to get, but I didn't. But Mandy managed to get this one, so that's very cool. Let's see how the Cube's doing. He's eating still. Well, we'll see. We'll check in and see if he takes a bath later on. And now we'll do something else. Maybe we'll do a little art project or something. Okay. You're looking at some artwork by Mandy Katz right now. And we're going to do a studio visit with Mandy. We've come over to visit the studio of Mandy Katz, even though they say that we have to isolate. I am going to visit with Mandy anyway because we live together. They call it an isolationship pod. And we're in the same pod, me and Ferdy and Time Cube and Skookle and Mandy. And because we're in an isolationship pod, we're allowed to visit with each other. So, let's check out Mandy's studio and interview her about her artwork. Hi, Mandy.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my art studio.
So this is Mandy's studio. This is where she makes her art. Just recently, we finished sanding and painting it in here. This was all raw drywall just 2 weeks ago or something. And now it's all tight.
Thanks, Justin. And thanks to KT.
Yeah, and anyways, so Mandy, why don't you show off some of your artwork to us?
Okay. Well, what I'm really excited about, and nobody really knows about this yet, is that I had an art show last fall, and I sold some paintings, and all the paintings I sold before they went to their new owners, I had them photographed for high quality prints. So now I have these available, these beautiful giclée prints.
I do believe it's pronounced giclée. It's French, you know.
There's one. So if you would like to own a little piece, you can for much more reasonable prices now.
How would people order these from you?
Well, I guess my email is the best way.
And that's ranmapushkin@yahoo.com.
Yes, Ranma Pushkin. Yeah.
Everyone knows how to spell Ranma Pushkin, right? RANMAPUSHKIN. Anyway, let's get a
I'm trying
close-up
to
of
show
one of
all
these.
these.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Can you see the good colors on your?
Yeah.
They did a really nice job. So I'm going to show another one. This
Oh, ghost car.
ghost car. This was a really big drawing, but now it's a print. And these are for sale.
How much?
Various prices. So if you're interested, you can contact. Maybe Justin would be my agent in this case, and you could get my email from him off Facebook or whatever.
I'm going to act as Mandy's agent for the duration of Corona days.
And here's another one.
Oh, I love this one. Can you tell us a little bit about this painting?
Well,
I noticed that there's a lot of beauty in it.
yeah, that's pretty much what I'd like to say, is that it's beautiful. And it really expresses my heart.
What's it called? Does it have a title?
Oh, I forget. It was What the Water Gave or something like that. Because there's this cloud up here that's weeping beautiful milk out of its bosoms.
Wait, bosom? Okay, I always get confused about that.
Bosoms are not butts.
I know. I always think of that show Bosom Buddies, and I always think it means butt buddies. Like, that's what I thought it meant when I was a kid.
I know.
Anyway, shows what I know, you know.
So
I
what
need more
else would you like to
education.
see?
Hi, Ferdy. Are you gonna dance? Athena wants to see Ferdy dance.
Oh, right.
But Ferdy doesn't really actually often dance, you know? Sometimes she just roams around. Hi, Ferdy.
I've only seen her dance a few times.
She has done it, but it's very rare. Oh, I'm gonna show these. Mandy used these in a video that she made for Night of a Thousand Kates, which is a tribute night to Kate Bush, and this was part of her video, and they're spin. They're supposed to be part of a spinny video. So those are really cool. And this was one of her newer paintings. A pretty large one.
I wanted to show a field guide, but I don't have one. I
Oh.
have to demonstrate how to use those, actually.
The field guides?
No, these.
Oh, yeah, do it. Spin one.
All right. Is there
Okay.
glare?
No. Okay, I'm zooming in. Go slower. Yeah. So, you become completely immersed.
And then
And
let's
that.
try the other one.
Now, this is a painting that you just started, right?
Yeah, that's a new one.
And that's kind of your process, your technique, you know?
Some of it, sometimes.
Like you start with a underpainting, they call it. A ground, they call it, I think.
Yeah, and it just builds up over a lot of time.
Yeah.
And here's...
This actually cures coronavirus, if you watch this, you know? Not fake news, you know? If you watch this... Actually, that's not true. I'm not going to spread this disinformation. But it might make you feel good, and that's
Could
probably
make you
good.
feel better if you have coronavirus, or if, like me, you've just been up all night panicking because of coronavirus.
Yeah. Oh, what do we call that? Psych coronavirus.
Oh, no,
We
yeah.
both have it. Psycho-Coven.
So Coven.
Yeah.
We need psycho ventilators.
Yeah. You got to get a psycho ventilator, you know.
So,
Oh, you make these ceramics. Oh, you can't really see that. There's all kinds of glare on it, unfortunately. Oh, well, how frustrating. Oh, there you go. That's so beautiful. Now you can see it. Look how beautiful. That's one of Mandy's ceramic plates.
and I'd like to show the people that I'm working on making this broom out of broom corn that that me and Marissa grew last summer in the garden, and I've got all the broom stuff like cleaned off, and then I'm gonna join them all together and make a beautiful broom. Isn't that nice?
That is really nice.
And I did want to show some of my
Oh, yeah.
field guide, but I don't know where one is right now. So,
You
I'll
could-
show you. I made my first mask last night.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, in anticipation of going back to work, if I ever am able to, so I can prepare seedlings and herbs for lots of people.
Or going to the post office or the grocery store.
Yeah, this I can wear over the to the grocery store. I have an H95 that I plan to reuse a lot, and I'm gonna make these for a couple of my friends so they can like change this when they get in and out of the house, but keep their H95.
Luckily, we have a stash of H95s here because I use them for work. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a small stash, like 7 H95s or something. So we're reusing them. You know?
We're hoping to use those in order to pot up all the seedlings if we can rescue them from shore danger. So here's some botanical illustrations. That's jewelweed, and that was drawn for the field guide to plants of the lower Schuylkill. A little brochure I put together in a few years ago, and I'm really proud of. This is Japanese honeysuckle, beautiful plant that could be used to treat coronavirus actually. But, and this is Ailanthus. Some of you may know it as Tree of Heaven, and it grows all around Philadelphia. It was originally introduced to Philadelphia as a wedding present to Anne Bartram, the granddaughter of John Bartram.
Mandy works at Bartram's Garden in Philadelphia, by the way. The oldest historic garden in the universe. I don't know about that, but maybe the oldest one in the United States.
So do you have time for one or two more? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
What else would you like to see?
I would like to see. Well, actually, I love your these ones. Is that gouache?
So that's a watercolor and pen drawing.
It's
And
not gouache. It's just old-fashioned watercolor.
That's watercolor.
That's amazing that you get your colors so vibrant with that.
I tend to do a lot of drawings like that in my sketchbooks. And here's another sketchbook drawing.
It's funny because I did a little drum jam in the beginning of my vlog, and I showed off the invasive species tape down in the basement. And this is the cover of the tape. That's kind of funny.
So, I'd like to share something with the people. So I've had this book that I got when I was riding trains as a youngster, and
Freight trains.
yeah, it's an old log
Hopping out, they call it. You
from
know.
the 60s, a receipt log, and I've made a lot of paintings in this book. I tend to just make them like that.
Oh, I love this one.
This
I
is
love
a
this
recent one, and then I'll cut them out.
It puts me in mind of William Blake or something.
But I've been
better in.
painting in this book for many, many years, and then ripping them out. And I'd like to show just a few more of the paintings I did in this book. So here's one. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And oh, there's a lot of them. Let's see.
Oh, I really like I've got a favorite in these.
Oh, you like this one, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite. I love this one because I love this shiny part. So cool.
Justin likes shiny stuff.
Yeah, I'm like a COVID.
And
That's a crow.
here, this one is a frog princess. Inspired by a day that we visited the frogs at Concourse Lake in our neighborhood.
Me and you did?
Yeah. So I don't want to take up your whole video with my art.
Hi, Ferdy. Ferdy's like, I love your art.
Bertie's a big fan.
Yeah. Ferdy's like,
I love art. I can't see two-dimensional images, but I like watching you make it.
look.
She does like to keep me company, especially if there's a basket she can sit in. Oh, this one was on a album cover too. This was on Stick in a Stone.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's right.
And that's the drawing that I made probably in the 90s.
That's so cool. Very 90s. You know, me and Mandy are from the 90s. We were born at the end of the 70s, right? If anybody remembers the 70s. Some of you probably remember the 70s like it was yesterday because you were like 45 years old in the 70s, but we were born in the 70s, so our time was really the 90s. That's when
Here's
we were
another
like...
example of some 90s art.
That's when we were teens, you know? We were millennials in the 90s, you know? Wow. See, all you millennials now think being a millennial is a new thing, but we were millennials in the 90s even, you know? Now we're just like middle age, they call it, you know? Wow, yeah, that is so cool. That is pretty 90s. There's something about it. What was it in the 90s that was like that aesthetic? I can't even put my finger on it. You know what I mean? Like, who made that up? Who started that whole 90s aesthetic? Like, what was the deal?
Kurt Cobain?
Babes in Toyland?
I was not influenced by Kurt Cobain, actually. But I think indirectly I probably was.
Maybe. I don't know. But who really started that aesthetic? Like, I think it was Babes in Toyland. You know?
Well, I don't know, and I actually don't care.
I just say that because they were the first musicians I knew where they wore like lacy stuff and they had like, you know what I'm saying? Like that certain aesthetic. We're gonna figure this out, people. That's what this vlog's all about, you know? Art history of the 1990s, you know?
If you, I was gonna tell something to you.
Yeah.
If you're watching at home and you have some ideas about this,
Yeah.
please feel free to write in.
Yeah, who came up with the 90s aesthetic? Like, we're talking about that kind of like lacy collage, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, you know? Anyway, some people that like were teenagers in the 60s are going to be like, I don't know what you mean. And kids that are teenagers now are going to be like, I don't know what you mean. But if you're the perfect age, you'll be like, I know what you mean. I know the answer to that. It was the main guy from Alice in Chains. Yeah. Well, everyone, until next week, I hope everybody stays safe, tries not to lose their steady resolve, and hopefully by next Friday, I'll be doing at least as good as I am now, if not better. I'll have a lot more progress done on this new connecting panel drawing.
And until next week, goodbye.